The next guest I'd like to, not a guest, is a co-director of our program. He oversees a lot of what we do in our programs, and I wanted him to speak not only as an educator, but as a parent, just like you guys. He has children in New York City public schools that are engaging in the program while he's trying to figure out how to engage them at the same time. So it's a unique perspective, and he's going to speak to what has been working and not working for his kids and how he kind of sees the ecosystem and the community moving forward. And I'd like to introduce Ian West.
Great, thanks, Russ. Hi, everybody. I'll try to be brief, although I feel like there's so much to say on this topic. I want to first of all just mention how great it is to see Sean Smith and Danny Rode and so many excellent parents and people who've been involved in our programs over the years. And I think it's a really special thing that I think it bears acknowledging that a meeting like this would have very unlikely to have ever happened pre-COVID, but this is one of these weird little twists where all of a sudden we discover that we can get together very easily and comfortably together. Granted, we can't share cocktails, we can't form into little groups and share anecdotes, but I think it is important to be able to connect with the bigger picture of scholastic chess and our communities this way. I feel like it's something that might outlast all our lockdowns. We might be able to connect this way in the future, and it might make organizing and planning and staying in touch with each other easier and better. I think this note has been sounded a bunch of times by people about the difference between surviving and thriving. And I know as a chess program director, but also as a parent, that I've seen it. I've seen both ends of it. Obviously, there are a lot of people that are having a very difficult time with this current situation, and even kids who were diehard chess players and lived by the code and played every day and went to every event. It's been very sad. It's been heartbreaking on some levels just to see how many of them have drifted off the map because this format just doesn't work for so many people and so many kids especially. But on the other end, those kids are all at the park. They're running around. They're jumping on their brothers and sisters and all that sort of thing. What we discover also on the flip side of that is that, in fact, there are lots and lots of kids who have not only adapted well to online chess and the digital chess ecosphere, but have actually thrived there and become players that they might not have ever become in a physical space because of the access that the digital chess world allows. I want to point this out because I don't know how many people realize I feel it very much being a person that lived pre-cell. I mean, I was like a full-grown person pre-cell phone, pre-internet, and what it took to be a chess player back in the 80s and the 90s versus what you can accomplish sitting in front of your computer in a very short span in this day and age is insane. I mean, the difference it's incredible how well chess took to the digital sphere. But that migration happened pre-COVID. Chess was online, fully online, and migrated. The migration was prepared in advance. And I feel like Russ and I know I feel extremely proud of what we've been able to do to circle kids into this online situation and help them adjust and help them find ways to connect and ways to engage. Because that is what it's about: keeping the communities together, keeping our teams together, keeping kids involved in something that's enriching. I mean, it's really the key. It's not just about keeping them in front of screens or keeping them from doing some other thing. It's really about providing content that enriches their existence, makes their lives better. Okay, I'm willing to concede that we don't want our kids on screens all the time. So I completely understand that, and chess organizers everywhere, we're all scratching our heads saying, well, how do we get kids to be more involved? How do we get them more engaged? Well, we have to ask them to be on their screens more. Okay. I mean, we have to recognize that kids have limits and we don't want them on the screens all the time. But I think there's so many tools that we have available that we are making use of. And I think that's part of what holds it all together. I'm very happy to to hear Sean Smith talk about the Chestnut Schools teams and what they're up to and how they're plugged in, how they're running events. I'm extremely happy to hear Danny Rode describe how the big events coming down the pike are transforming and becoming something that we can all be involved in here. And I think that kind of stuff is hugely important. Grade Nationals is coming up. I was just really, really gratified to know that Grade Nationals is going to happen in December. It's going to be a chess kid event. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I do think that those, having those big events is critical because there's so much. I started in 2003 teaching chess, and I was a Chestnut Schools instructor. And I started, my first big team program was PS 139 in Ditmas Park in Brooklyn, where my kids currently go and are part of the team there, amazingly enough. And I found right off the bat that the best way to get kids engaged and keep them engaged, whether are on screens or in person, is to put a dart on the calendar in May and just say, look, this is what we're doing. In May, we're going here. We're going to get all these kids. We're going to pile onto an airplane. We're going there. And you don't want to miss it. Trust me, you want to be there. We started going to nationals in 2004. That was my second year at PS 139, and we haven't missed a year. We haven't missed a year since. I mean, we went to every single nationals from 2004 up until the shutdown, and it's been a program driver. Just having those big events has been a program driver. So I'm very excited about the big events coming, and I hope everyone we're going to be communicating about that a lot coming up because everyone something to be excited about. In the spirit of that engagement and that putting something on the map, putting something in front of us to focus on, I do want to talk a little, just very briefly about our online league. I think this is something that we really like. We scratched our heads a ton about the best way to organize an engaging idea, an ongoing and engaging idea. And we really feel like we've struck a chord, like a real chord that hums across a lot of different communities, a lot of different levels of players and ages of players with the Online Scholastic League. The Online Scholastic League is like something that connects all our schools together in a essentially what is a daily tournament. It's a two-round tournament that happens every single day of every single weekday at 4:30. It's 2 rounds of game 25. Each event is an individual 2-round event. And all the kids who sign up for our programs, I mean, if it's PS 77 or PS 33 or even schools outside of our networks, I see Chapin is here. I see other schools here. Anyone who signs in, anyone who loops in has access to that league 5 days a week. And we have kids who play in that league only on their club days. They have chess club on Friday. They come on Friday. They play in the league Friday. We have other kids that take full access there, and they play 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week. They're there a lot. That access is open, and that league is open. The standings, we monitor the standings. They're updated every day, and we have team and individual standings as we go. And it's something I've become kind of hooked on. I mean, I know a lot of chess parents talk about this. Every chess team's got a stat parent. The parent that stands in the corner with their cell phone, like updating stats, looking at kids' ratings, checking, comparing. There's always that stat parent that follows all this stuff. And now I've become the stat dad with.
Ian, do you mind sharing the updated standings so people can just see what it looks like?
Sure. I think I have it. I think I had it here. So yeah. We're updating this daily with our team standings. This is something I come like a monkey. I come in the morning and trying to get my piece of cheese from the online chess league standings, and I want to see where the teams are at, who moved where. Everyone's moving up and down the levels, we've got a lot of teams involved, and more are joining all the time. So this is a monthly competition, and at the end of the month, we're awarding team prizes and individual prizes. So we've got individual prizes as well. And I don't know, Russ, I don't know, we haven't, not much has been talked about, I don't think, about this. Maybe not enough has been talked about it, but we do have an internal rating system that's emulating USCF and running parallel to USCF for the sake of being able to monitor our students' progress. as we go. And I think you can link your child's play is linked here. All the events that we rate in our system are linked here, so you can track your child's playing history and rating growth through the individual standings on the league. So I think it's a fairly amazing thing. And again, I mean, my son's a player. My son goes to PS 139, and he wants to know where he's at now. I mean, we have these. You can see on the website we keep track of our top 20 players per grade, so you can always go on here and see where your kid is. Your kid's cracked the top 20, the top 10. And I know this is all sort of, in a way, it's sort of silly, because the bigger picture really here is about enrichment and engagement. But we all know how this kind of stuff works. I mean, motivation, carrots, having these ideas and benchmarks in mind, it drives kids to improve. It drives them to improve, and it engages them on a deeper level. And anyway, I think I know as an educator, but also as a parent, I feel very fortunate to be able to connect to something like that. And so I love seeing all your kids involved in that, and I keep track of as many as my mental space can accommodate. But yeah, I think that's been my experience. Is I feel like the league is helping kind of keep as a glue to kind of keep our communities centered around something valuable and centered around something enriching, and keep them growing. So yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your evenings to come and talk and visit.
All right, thanks, Ian. So